Hi guys, welcome back to another session of my outdoor cooking, and today we're making Ghana's favorite palmnut soup, and we're going to making this soup from scratch. Let's get started. To start off, I have my palmnut here. I'm going to be cooking this, so I'm going to transfer this into my saucepan, add in some turkey berries, which is called kwehun suswa, and then I'm going to just add some water to this. Now I'm going to just add some pepper to this because I want that spicy flavor in my palmnut soup, and just cover this and cook this for 40 minutes. Okay, this is going to take about 40 to 45 minutes to cook depending on the quantity of soup you're making. Okay, so this took 45 minutes max, and that is it. I'm just going to take it out of my saucepan and then grind it. But before we do that, we're going to boil some water because we're going to use that water to mix our palm nuts later. Now it's time for us to grind. I'm going to just transfer this into my mortar and then begin to pound everything together. You're going to pound everything in this, including the turkey berries and then the pepper as well. Make sure you pound this very well to get a palm nut chaff out, because you want really tasty palm nut soup and you don't want to waste any. So this is what we have. Actually, I'm not a fan of making palm nut soup. It's quite stressful to make this part, but the soup itself is easy, and I think we can all try, okay? Because I make really good palm nut soup and you love this recipe. Now I'm going to just transfer the pounded palm nuts into my saucepan, and at this point I'm going to fetch some of my hot water that I cooked earlier into it. What we're going to do is mix everything together to bring out the juice. Okay, so we're going to just add some cold water or lukewarm water to the hot water and mix everything together. Now what we're going to do is squeeze the chaff till you get just the juice left. Okay, so this part was quite therapeutic. I enjoyed doing it. So just make sure you squeeze everything out. You don't want anything left. But don't throw this away. This palm nut chaff can be used for a lot of things, like using it to light up a charcoal. So don't throw it away. Now I'm going to sieve everything after separating the chaff from the liquid, and make sure you sieve it twice at least. And I'm just going to sieve this for the first time, the second time, and this is the third time. The sieving helps you to get a very smooth consistency. You don't want any chaff left in the liquid or in the palm nut liquid. You don't want that, or the palm nut extract. Okay, so here we have our palm nut ready, and we're going to start the soup. I have here some beef, and I'm just going to smoke this a bit because I want that authentic smoky flavor in my palm nut soup. And always remember that palm nut soup likes proteins that are roasted or even a bit smoky. Now what I'm going to do now is also roast my prekese or Adan fruit to give it the fragrance that it deserves. Now this is my protein that I have roasted a bit, and I'm going to transfer this into my saucepan, add in some kotoje as well. I'm going to add some crabs that I've cleaned. I'm going to add some wele, and then I'm just going to add my pepper mix. Now this is my pepper mix. I add a lot of ginger and garlic. I add a little bit of my carrot, some bell pepper, pakposhito. I also add bay leaf, some onions, and some grains of selim, that is huentia, and pepper as well. Now I'm going to just blend this and transfer this into my saucepan, and you can see how flavorful that is already looking. Now what I'm going to do is add my snails into my ayiwa with a little pepper left, and I'm just going to grind this with a little pepper left in my ayewa, and this is going to be a game changer for you. It's going to give your soup the snail flavor. Aside adding the blue water from the soup, you can also do this as well, and it's so nice. Now I'm going to season this with some natural spices as usual. I'm using Ejaore spices, and then my seasoning mix as usual, my Remy chicken, Remy beef, seasoning cube, and some salt. Give this a good mix. Make sure you stir it very well with the proteins, and you're going to cook this with the proteins. Okay, so steam it for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then add in your tomatoes, onions, and peppers. Palm nut soup does not like a lot of tomatoes in it, so I'm just going to be using 3 tomatoes, 2 onions, a lot of peppers because I like pepper. And then I'm just going to cover this and then steam it for at least 5 minutes. Okay, now what we're going to do now is check on this. It looks soft, but we're going to add the palm nut extract or the palm nuts that we juiced out earlier into the soup. Okay, now this is how we make palm nut soup. It's so easy, just at the beginning or the process is a little bit stressful, but it's very easy to make. Now I'm just going to take the peppers, onions, and tomatoes out of it, and we're going to blend this and pour it back into our soup. Like I said, don't use a lot of tomatoes. If possible, don't even add any tomato paste. Now I'm going to pour the blended tomatoes, onions, and peppers back into my soup and add in my fish. If you want a very tasty palm soup that is very authentic, then make sure you use very, very, very flavorful fishes. Mostly they are doing with names like akwebi and all those ones. When you go to the market, just ask them. They're going to show you. Now I'm going to add my prekese as well into my soup, and then I'm going to add some smoked mackerel as well. You can add momone or palmomone if you like. I added it to my soup, but it was not looking the best, so I didn't want to show that part, but I added that to my soup as well. Now I'm going to leave the soup to cook whilst I make my fufu. Ghanaian fufu is a combination of plantain and cassava. We have different ways of making fufu with different staples. I'm going to be using plantain and cassava to make mine. Now I'm going to transfer this into my saucepan, add a little water, and you can add salt. When you add salt to it, it's going to preserve the fufu, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to eat the fufu right after I make it. Now it's soft. I'm just going to pour the water out and start to make the fufu. Making Ghanaian fufu is very easy, just that you need a very, very good pounder and a good driver. And also sometimes the plantain or the cassava might not be so good, so there could be a little inconsistencies in the fufu, but don't worry, you can actually do this. Now I'm just going to add the plantain first and pound it. Fufu yeah and yeah girl, but I mean we can all do it. Okay, like I said, you just need a good driver and a good pounder. And I'm just going to be stirring my fufu, and I don't know how I can teach people how to make this fufu or how to drive the fufu, but I'm going to take time and actually do a well-detailed video of how to dry fufu. But it also takes a lot of practice to be very good at it, so I think you can just watch this video and just look at how I am doing it and maybe try to do it as well later. It may be a little bit fast, but don't worry. Now after the plantain staple is formed, you're going to start with the cassava as well. Now you're just going to pound it the same way you did the plantain, and after you're going to mix the two together, and that's how to make fufu enyedin. It's so easy and everybody can actually try it. Okay, now I'm going to be adding the plantain to it and we're going to pound it together. So you're just going to mix the two together, and this is so beautiful. I don't know, it's just gorgeous. I enjoy doing this part so much when I see it forming and when I see the color coming out, and it's so beautiful. When you're making fufu, it's up to you. If you like more plantain, you add more plantain. If you like less, you reduce it. But trust me, when I'm making fufu, the plantain should be more. My fufu is ready. It's looking so soft, just like I like it. I'm going to check on my soup. This soup takes at least 40 minutes to cook, depending on the quantity. Mine took almost an hour to cook because of the quantity I was cooking. Just your seasoning with salt if you like, and that's it. Always know that palmnut soup thickens up very, very quickly. So on the first day, make sure your soup is not so thick. It should be a bit light, okay? Now I'm going to serve this with my fufu and enjoy. You guys, this recipe was so delicious. I can't wait for you guys to try it and give me your review. And I hope you don't struggle on the first day. If you think the stressful recipe of making the palmnut from scratch will stress you out, then you can always buy palmnut extracts on the market and just use that. But remember, it does not taste as good as this, but it's also good as well, depending on you. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.